Hi guys, welcome to episode 50 of the Notable Needlework podcast. I am Kate Notable Needle, N-O-T-E-A-B-L-E, on Ravelry, on Plurk, and on Twitter. The blog, if you're watching this on iTunes, is at notableneedlework.blogspot.com. There is a Ravelry group for the podcast. Please come, join, introduce yourself. Sorry if you hear noises in the background, it's because Will is in a major cleaning obsession. He's doing laundry and vacuuming and everything, but I think the vacuuming's done. Yeah, that's about it. I made sure that the camera was recording sound this time before I started recording, so hopefully y'all will be able to see this on take 1 and not take 2 again. It has been a very productive week for knitting anyway. I didn't have any exams or clinical this week, so I got to get a lot of knitting done. I have 2 finished objects. If I can get them out from underneath all of my stuff on my desk. Okay, there we go. The first thing, which I actually finished last night, are Laura's Berkeley socks. And as usual, the color is a bit more navy blue than royal blue, but they're awesome, and I love the fact that she has size 6 or size 6.5 because they make very quick socks. This was out of Fiber Nymph Dye Works in her Bounce Base. It's a custom colorway that she did for me. And I did 64 stitches on a US size 1. Yeah, that's pretty much it. With an afterthought heel, if you couldn't tell. So those went by relatively quickly considering how actually little I worked on them. Like, I probably could have had them done in a week if I wasn't working on 9 million other projects simultaneously. And these are for my friend's wife, Laura, who went to Cal Berkeley, and so I'm sending those to her tomorrow, because I finished them after the post office closed last night. Literally, I think I finished them at 5 o'clock. Even though I think the post office is only open till like 3 on Saturdays, but whatever. The second finished object are my Lord of the Rings test knit. This is the Elrond sock by Claire Ellen, who reassures me that there will one day be a Arwen sock, because I've decided that, one, I'm going to test knit that sock no matter what I have to do, and that it will finally be the perfect use for my Camp Loopy Volmiza, because it's that pretty purple color, and I just think it works because she's like double royalty, whatever, from the elves. Yes, I'm a nerd. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I'm gonna stop talking and show you the sock. It has a fantastic cable pattern. I have it slightly off center so that you can actually like see the cable pattern. But it has the big windblown cable on the front and the back of the sock, and then there's matching right and left leaning cables that go down the entire length of the sock. This is Knit Picks Stroll Tonal in the Blue Yonder colorway, and to get gauge, which is, I think for her patterns it's usually 8 stitches to the inch, I have to use US 2s because that's how I roll. But I use US size 2s, 2 at a time, magic loop, because that's what I do. And I'm not sure, exactly when the second book will be released, but I know that the first 3 test knits go until the beginning of March, and then there's, I think, a full 6 other patterns that haven't been released for test knit yet. And I know one she's not done designing yet. I think right now she's working on one for Gollum. So I don't know when this is going to be released. And then Arwen, of course, is not going to be in this book, so I have to wait even longer before I can do Arwen socks. But the Fellowship of the Socks book has been released. As I said before, I tested the Gandalf sock for that. It is a fantastic book of patterns, and yeah, the patterns are extremely well written, and they are gorgeous socks. Even if you are not a Lord of the Rings fan, not an uber nerd like a lot of us are, they are beautiful socks. So those are my finished objects. Works in progress. So, finishing those two, I actually had surprisingly little on the needles. So I'm going to show the one that is actually a continuation that got any love. Evenstar did not get worked on at all. I think I'm just going to do that over spring break and like see how far I can get. I don't like stopping in the middle of a row, and at this point the rows take a while to do, so it's going to be a little bit before I really work on that anymore, I think. It's probably just going to be a break project, like spring break or the break between semesters or what have you. I think that's probably when I will be legitimately working on that. So Addie's baby blanket, I think I got like a row done. I know, I really need to finish this because it's already past the middle of February and she's probably going to have those twins by the end of the month or like the first week of March. So I need to get working on this. I think that this is probably going to be what I work on when I'm at home. Again, I don't like taking the full pound of love with me places because it's a pain in the butt to carry around. So I think I'm going to work on this when I'm at home and work on other things when I'm out and about. Because this is really, it's the same stitch over and over and over. So I can do it while mindless knitting. Or crocheting, as the case were. By the way, this is Lion Brand Pound of Love. What size hook am I using on this? It's the hooded baby blanket pattern from Lion Brand. I'm using a J, which is a 6mm hook. I don't know if that's the hook the pattern calls for. I think it calls for like a K, but this was the only crochet hook I could find. So I said, screw it. Yeah. And then I decided last night that I was finally going to actually cast on my Daybreak. I know. It's actually begun. So I didn't get that. Okay. I didn't get that much done on it. But you can sort of see how the colors are going to work. So I like it. I think I have about 50 stitches on it right now, and I think I have to get up to like 169 before I start doing the stripes in the black. But this is Daybreak by Stephen West. The yarn that I'm using right now is Highland Handmaid's Sugar Maple Sock in the Bright Rainbow colorway, which Katie from Knittin' on the Fly so generously gave me for my birthday / congratulations on your wedding 7 months ago. But I love how the colors are working up. It's fantastic. And then the other yarn that I'm going to use for the stripes is Cascade Heritage sock in the True Black colorway. And this is on a US size 4, which is what the pattern calls for. The one thing that drives me crazy about this pattern is that in the instructions, okay, so you can clearly see, or maybe not so clearly, that there's this line running down. Okay, here's the center stitch, and there's increases. There are also a set of increases that go halfway in between the center stitch and the edge. At first, I was trying to put a marker there so that I wouldn't have to figure out what halfway to the stitch was, because in the pattern it says knit to halfway, whatever, and then do your increase. It doesn't work like that because every single round you increase on the side. So if you put a marker, this number, the number in between the center and the marker would stay the same, but this would increase. So yeah. I'm not thrilled about that because I don't like having to count my stitches every single time I do an increase row. But what can you do? It's going to be gorgeous when it's done, so I'm sort of living with it. Anyways, so that is Daybreak, and this is in my bird leg bag with my knitting sheep on it. I think I've said this before. Why is she holding the needles the wrong way? I really can't stand it when cartoonists do that and have them like holding the needles like this, because that doesn't make any sense. It's like this, not like this. This tips up, because that makes far more sense. Otherwise you're just going to be dropping all your stitches. Yeah, that was random. The other thing that's on the needle that is going to be off the needles fairly soon and onto a different set of needles. I started the Marilinda socks for my friend Jan. There's the Marilinda socks with the pretty hearts. I love the pattern tremendously. I love the yarn. I love the way they look together. However, the gauge that you're supposed to get in stockinette is 8 stitches to the inch. That's what I get on US size 2s. So, I did this on US size 2s. I am concerned that they will be too big for her feet, because she does have a size 7.5, and even if it wasn't too big, I don't think that it would stretch enough to show the lace pattern. Because if you can see, I'm trying to find a good spot where you can actually like see what's going. I suppose I can show you the back. Okay. Well, this actually would have been the front of the foot. So, first thing, I had to figure out how to do this on Magic Loop, because it's supposed to be knit in 3 sections. 3 is not evenly divisible by 2. So I sort of fudged my way to do a Magic Loop so that the entire chart was on each half of the needle-ish. Anyways, so this is what the lace pattern looks like when it's not stretched out. Yeah, you can pretty much just see the ribbing. When it's stretched out, however, of course, it's not really going to be that visible, but you can actually see the eyelets, and I don't know if you can see, but that's the top of the heart. The 2 little heart points, and then there's eyelets that go along the edging of it. So, her feet are a regular width, but I would rather them be too small and me have to block them than them being too big, because there's not really a point to having 2 big socks. They just sort of flop around and stuff, and I don't think her boyfriend would wear them because they're pink and have hearts on them. So, as much as this pains me, I think that I am going to be ripping this out. Oh, there you can kind of see the heart. See? See the heart? If I go like this, then it sort of almost looks like this is coming to a point. I think I'm going to rip this out and recast it on the size 1s that I now have free because I finished Laura's socks, which is why I was trying to finish those before I recorded so that I could cast these on them. That being said, I don't think the pattern will take me a tremendous amount of time, so I'm thinking that I may save it and wait to cast on until March 1st, which is when we're starting the Cookie A knit along in this group, which is any Cookie A pattern that you want. So I may save that. I do, however, have another pattern that I'm going to start soon, so excuse me. We'll see how long I can go without doing a cabled sock. I think that will be the deciding factor in whether these get cast on before the 1st or not. So yeah. So those are all of the actual, I have things on the needles right now. Coming up, and Will is very happy about this, I'm finally going to start his stripy socks, his Katamari socks. Yes, it's upside down. It's still backwards, it doesn't matter. He calls these the Katamari socks because the colors remind him of the game Katamari Damacy, which he adores. So he's very excited that I'm finally starting these. His birthday is on Wednesday. They're not going to get done by Wednesday, he's aware of that, but this was my, hey, your birthday's coming up, and it was our anniversary, and it was Valentine's Day, and thank you for doing the taxes. I decided to cast on his socks for that. He will get them eventually. I swear. The only other things that are coming up I'll talk about in stash enhancement. Spinning. Yeah, that's all I have. Oh, I guess I'll talk about the monkey socks knit along. So I showed you my finished monkey socks next week. You still have time to finish your socks, or if you are a very fast knitter, to cast on a pair of monkey socks for our knit along. It's going until the end of February, so you'll have like 10 more days. Yeah, like 10 more days. So if you're a really fast knitter, you could probably get it done in 10 days. If you're not, then you should finish up your socks. Just post a picture of the finished socks in the group. So far we have, how many people have finished their monkey socks? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there are 4 people, not including myself, who have posted their socks in the group. There's Teresa, there's Penny, there's Jennifer, and there's Lisa Marie. All of their socks look fantastic, so congratulations on that. I know Katie from Knitting on the Fly is working on hers. We'll see whether they get done in time. I love you, Katie. I just have to joke about that because everyone else has finished theirs almost before I did. So there is still time to enter your socks for that. Just be sure to tag them with NN Monkey KAL, so Notable Needle Monkey KAL. And not next week, but I guess the week after, I will draw a winner from theirs. I will probably just draw it out of a hat because I don't like random number generator. And it will be your choice of one of these sock yarns. They're all Cascade Heritage. It's, oh right, it doesn't say the name on this. I think it's Zinnias, Mango, and Pine are the colors. And the mango looks like icky when it's next to the other ones, but Okay, it's not tan, it's mango, it's orange. I don't know why it's showing up like a weird tan golden color, but it's a very pretty orange. I put a picture on the thread, so check it out there. And then, like I said before, we are having a Cookie A knit along that is March 1st through April 30th. And you can knit any Cookie A pattern you want, just put a picture of the finished object. There's already a thread that has been started with what are you going to use for it. I think I'm just going to keep that as the same one that you can post your pictures in. And you can post progress, you can chat or do whatever you want, because again, I'm just going to draw it out of a hat because I have a feeling it's not going to be that many people. So I like that better than random number generator. I think Heather's the only person who's put what she wants to knit out of there, and she's either doing the wedge or the monkey socks in a very pretty color of Keegan Lane yarns that I don't recognize. I think it was from the Trifecta of Awesome Yarn Club, but I am not sure. But it's very pretty. I think the only color from Melissa that I recognize on site is Tiny Umbrellas. That's about it. Other knit-alongs. Oh, right. Sadie from Yarnivore, the Yarnivore podcast, got the Fellowship of the Socks ebook for Valentine's Day from her partner in crime, and she has been talking about doing a knit-along, but she hasn't picked a pattern from the book. I had suggested to her that it be open to any pattern because I really want to do the Gimli sock, because Willa's been asking me for that too, those socks, and I actually, hold on, I'm gonna get out. I actually picked out the yarn for that. So it's just Cascade Heritage in the, I think it's Christmas Red colorway. But I figured that it best represented Gimli. I think he said that either reds or golds were best for Gimli. He doesn't know that I'm going to be starting them. I think once he actually sees progress starting to happen on it, he'll figure out that they're the Gimli socks. But I currently don't own the pattern, so yeah. Oh, there's a kitty. Yuki's decided to come in and say hi, although I don't think she's gonna actually say hi unless I catch her. Unless I catch her. Ugh. Yeah. There's the baby. Well, no, she's not the baby. She's the big sister. Yeah, big sister. And come here. So, I'm hoping to start on those soon. I mean, it'll be March 1st if Sadie decides to either do the Gimli pattern or if she opens it to any pattern from the book. If it's not, then we'll see when I actually start it. We shall see. You want to say hi, Yuki? Yuki, say hi. Meet a pretty girl. She's very reluctantly up here right now because I did, in fact, catch her. Okay. Go play with your sister. Seuss is also in here. She will probably come up and say hi without me having to grab her. So that is what's coming up, with the exception of things that haven't come here yet. So spinning. I finished the first third of the rainbow fiber that I got from Pearlescence Fibers in Sunnyvale, California. I I don't know what the hell the wheels are doing, but... So this is the first third. I know, it's rainbow, and it's awesome. It doesn't look like there's any sort of a not randomness on this, but I did keep the color pattern going on it. So if I use this right now, it would act like a variegated yarn where the color sections, I guess, would be the same in the same order every single time. So that's the first third. Then, hi baby girl. She knows I have fiber. So then what I decided to do with the second and the third halves, well, the second and the third thirds, is I'm basically going to treat this like fractal spinning. So the last third I'm going to spin straight as it comes, which may actually prove to be much harder for me than I thought, because I keep seeing where the yarn wants to break and I want to break it there, and I have to keep myself from doing that. But the second half I divided into quarters. So this is a quarter of the 1 1/3 ounces of fiber, and this is the color repeat that it goes through. It's purple, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, purple, red, orange, yellow, green, and a little bit of blue. So again, the second third will have 4 of these throughout the length, and then the last one will only have 1 full repeat. I have no idea how many I split the first third into. It was at least like 20. I pre-draft the hell out of my fiber, so the whole fractal spinning thing is new. I don't usually just spin straight from it. So we'll see how that works. Yuki's climbing around in everything, because that's what she does. So I don't have anything quite on the spindle yet, because I took that off. Oh, you should probably go back in my spinning bag. So I took that off last night, and then I was starting to pre-draft the first quarter of the second third. Yeah, I know. And this is my Knitting's My Bag, which is actually really fantastic for spinning. I find it's just the perfect size. I have 4 ounces of fiber in here. Oh, and it's 100% superwash merino. It's from Pearlescent Fibers in Sunnyvale, California, and it's like the Calypso, Caribbean Calypso colorway. Anyways, it's only sold at their store. I don't think they sell it online, so I don't think it's relevant to most people that watch this podcast. I just happen to be going to Sunnyvale, which, if you're going to Stitches West next week, which I really wish I was going to, because it's a couple miles from my in-laws, so I wouldn't have to have a hotel room. But alas, I think the first day is the same day as my pharmacology exam, and I have clinicals, so that's not happening. Stash enhancement. Okay. So, I guess first I will show you what came. My shoes came. As you can tell, they are see-through. I think that they're probably not as well constructed as the Converse would be, but the Converse doesn't make the see-through anymore, so I don't really care. So they're good enough for me. The soles do not really have that much traction, so I have to figure out how to rough them up. I have to find some sandpaper or something before I go out again, i.e. tomorrow, because they're quite slippery right now. They don't really have the traction that the Converse usually do. What you doing, Yuki? She's always determined to get into the fish tank. There's no fish in the fish tank. Well, not anymore anyway. I don't know. She's a weird girl. But they're here. I love the way stripy socks look in these. They originally came with black laces, and I thought that made it far too dark, that you really couldn't see the socks through it. So I like how these look. I think I'd like the way they look even with white socks. So those are fantastic, and they're from, those are from Wanted Shoes, and I will put a link, to them in the show notes. The rainbow fiber hasn't come yet. I think I have another 2 weeks because, again, it's shipping from Russia. And it's the fiber that my mom got me for Valentine's Day because she's awesome. And she's coming to visit. They still haven't booked their plane flight. They should probably do that soon. She's debating whether she wants to come like the Thursday before or come on like a Saturday and then stay the Monday, Tuesday after. So, still debating. Alright, things that have not come yet. I fell down. I fell down hard. Okay. I have already admitted that I have a weakness for self-striping sock yarn because it makes you look like a knitting rock star and you don't have to do anything. You just have to knit stockinette and the yarn does everything. It is perfect for lazy people who don't like doing color work, i.e. me. Oh, Susie's here. The other thing that I have a love for are Afterthought heels, but Afterthought heels with a contrasting color. Okay, hold on. There's a kitty. She's being very exploratory right now. Here's my Susu. She's my little love bug. My special needs little love bug. You're a good girl. She is a total mama's girl. Yuki is a daddy's girl. Susu is a mama's girl. And she loves the attention. And she's probably going to figure out how to get up there again and chew on my yarn swift because that's her goal in life, is to get on top of wire things or mesh, whatever. She can poke her feet out through the bottom, she's happy. So she likes being up high, she likes being on mesh things, and she likes chewing on wooden sticks. So that's her idea of heaven. And I didn't think that she was going to come in here, because I thought the door was closed. So I don't really want to get up and close the door, I'll just keep an eye on her. I don't know what's so fascinating outside. It's gray and overcast. Anyways, I have been good following my yarn diet, and then I fell down. It wasn't that bad. A couple of times I had come close, especially with Vesper, where I had everything in the cart and I had everything like input all put into the system. All I had to do was click the like make payment or place order, and then I would X out of the browser. Yeah, no. I caught a Spinning Fates update. And at first, I just wanted to look at the pretties, because she makes very pretty yarn. And then I saw the fateful words, with toe heel contrast gain. I mean, you really can't get any lazier than that, because you don't even have to think of what color goes best with the self-striping. They've done it for you. They have dyed it to match so that it will look fantastic. So I got the self-striping with the contrast skein in the Peonies colorway. I blame the weather because it has been cold and gray and miserable and rainy. And I want it to be springtime. Because this isn't winter, this is icky. I can deal with snow and I can deal with wind. I do not like the rain. I don't know what it is, but it's been miserable. So that's what I'm blaming, because this is so springtime and awesome. Yeah. So I fell down. But, whatever. Life goes on. As I mentioned last time, I am still waiting on the Rainbow Fiber, the black opal Queen of Colors, to come from Russia. She has a pre-order spot in the shop for it's Baby Alpaca, which are the black streaks in it, and then the colored is Tussa Silk. So I'll put a link to that. I also got yarn for my friend who ordered a pair of socks, and she said, as long as they're pink, I can pick the yarn, I can pick the pattern, I can do whatever the hell I want. So that's what I'm doing. And I got Knit Pick Stroll Tonal. I know, how much Knit Pick yarn can I possibly have? In the Summer Blooms colorway. I'm going to be doing the Kaime pattern by Cookie A from Sock Innovation, which I don't have the book near me, but it's the one that almost looks like a flip-flop to me. It has a lace panel that goes down the foot at a diagonal, and then I don't think it goes all the way to the heel. It's very, very pretty. I like it. And then, because of my thing with Knit Picks where I don't like paying almost $5 in shipping for a single skein of yarn that costs like $10. I just think that's dumb. Don't scratch the chair. So I also got their Stroll hand painted in the Punky colorway because those colors are awesome. I'm planning on using that for the Long John sock pattern that Vicky from Bird Lake Bags so generously gifted me last week, or the week before. It was last Monday. It was the Monday of, yeah, it was the Monday of my psych exam. So, last week, she gifted me the pattern. I think that it will look fantastic. I don't know who they're going to be for yet. I think they might be for my sister-in-law, because she grew up in the 80s, and so I feel like that's appropriate. Are you having fun? Like I said, mama's girl. I'm really surprised she hasn't. What she likes to do is she'll be on top of the chair and then she'll decide, I need to give her attention right now. And so she will walk down my chest, like come over down the chest and just sit on my belly or in my lap and purr to her little heart's content. Because that's my baby. Oh. And I did want to share this because I found it absolutely hysterical. I got an email from Plurk that said that Becca, who is from the Knit Bites podcast, it said that Becca had mentioned me on Plurk. And so I checked out the Plurk, and it says, oh my god, what have you done? I've been so good and you made me buy a bag. And the bag is so her, and it's from Bird Lake Bags, and it's the same size as my bag. But look at the apples. They have ninja owls and Jedi owls and Khamer owls. You could not get more perfect for Becca if you tried. Seriously. My husband got a kick out of that. Just because they're gamer owls. They're nerd owls. They're awesome. Oh, good to know. Oh, evidently my Spinning Fates yarn just shipped. I think it's actually going to ship tomorrow. I think she probably did the shipping notice thingies on PayPal. So hopefully that comes when Will's not home. Because otherwise I'm probably going to get in trouble for that one. Because there's no order for that. That was just... yeah. I don't know whether I'm willing to make them for someone as like a Christmas present or something. I think that those are just going to have to be mine. Yuki, what are you doing? My funny little girls. Funny, funny girls. So, lately Susu has been making funny noises whenever she doesn't want to be held. I kind of want to see whether she does it. Before she does do it, Susu would not hurt anyone unless maybe they were like trying to kill Will or I. Then she would probably attack. No, she would hide in a corner. Anyways, she does not scratch, she does not bite. She knows not to use her claws or her teeth. There we go. But she will make the most menacing noises to get you to put her down. I love you. I love you. I don't know if you can hear that, but she tries so hard to be such a ferocious little panther. Okay, I love you. She's my goof. She does the I swear I'm gonna bite you if you keep touching my belly thing. But you know she's not actually gonna bite you. But you'll pet her belly and she'll just sit there with her face like, I'm gonna bite you, I'm gonna bite you. She won't. I love her tremendously. I love messing with her. She is well loved. She just makes funny noises and I have to exploit it. So I think that's it for knitting. Yeah, nursing school was incredibly boring this week. Serious, it was just lecture on Monday and Wednesday, and that was it. There was no nothing. There were no tests. There was not even clinical. There was nothing. I have an exam this week in pharmacology, and I didn't bring in my textbook, but I kind of wanted to. So, the way that pharmacology goes is that there are a bunch of different drug classes, like beta blockers or anticonvulsants, something like that, where you need to know what that class of drug is supposed to do, and generally what kind of side effects you're going to get, what kind of therapeutic effects you're going to get, and you need to know everything about the prototype drug, which is sometimes it's the first drug of that class that was made. Most of the time it's the gold standard that you use as comparison. If you have another drug in the class, you're comparing how effective it is and how it works compared to that first prototype drug. So, there is a page of every single chapter of my book where it lists the different drug classes being covered in that chapter and all of the drugs that fit into that class, and it has like a little star next to the prototype drug. That's basically the only page that I need to learn at this point. I understand pretty much. If you say beta blocker, I can tell you what it's acting on, what it's supposed to do, what it's supposed to treat, all that stuff. My only problem is matching the drug that fits into that class. The name of the drug that fits into that class. So I pretty much just need to copy down those pages and I'm set. I lucked out this week because there is a lot of overlap between the classes that we have taken either before or now and have been tested on, and the drugs that we need to know for this test. It's 3 lectures worth of material. First lecture, reproductive drugs, so estrogens, testosterones, hormone replacement therapy, everything like that. All stuff that we learned for the OBGYN class. Second lecture, drugs that act on the peripheral nervous system. So your beta blockers, your beta agonists, so like albuterol, your I'm thinking of all the central nervous system drugs right now, but essentially the big ones are the beta blockers, the beta agonists, the alpha blockers, the alpha agonists, stuff like that. The most common drugs. All of that stuff, my first semester clinical instructor drilled into our heads. We needed to know everything about those drugs before we gave them, and those are some of the most common drugs that you're going to give, especially beta blockers. Third lecture, drugs that act on the central nervous system. So pretty much everything we learned in psych, your antipsychotics, your anticonvulsants, your anti-anxiety, and then anesthesias, nerve blockers, muscle relaxants, stuff like that. So there is a lot of overlap. I feel very comfortable with this exam, and I think that it's going to go well. Last thing that has nothing to do with anything is I went to my nurse practitioner and told her everything that was going on, and she drew up blood work. She's basically looking, I feel like I've said this before. Anyways, she's checking for hormone levels, for everything ever. If the test results aren't crystal clear, I probably have to go to an endocrinologist. The reason I bring this up is something to do with the last episode of the Fibrisa Files. Let's see if I can find it. Where she talked about the rules of leaving an iTunes review. And it brought to mind a review that I got, which sticks with me, and I shared it on Plurk, and people could not believe that someone would say the things that they did. Now, it was a 4-star review, and I'm fine with that. If one of the rules that Heather put out was that if you have criticisms, you should email the person, because really that doesn't help someone who's reading the reviews. One of the things that the person wrote was that I should wear more makeup. This has to do with the endocrinologist because this isn't normal. And first things first, you do not need to point out to someone with acne that they have acne. I guarantee they know it. Okay. The reason I point this out is because this is not an age-related thing. Because I am 23. This was me when I was 17. Do you see any acne on that face? Because I don't. See it on that face? I don't. That was 17. This is not something that I went through as a teenager. I had some acne when I was a teenager. Every so often. This is not normal. I have had all sorts of symptoms. I do not need someone pointing that out to me. Trust me, I know. Yeah. that's just me. And thank you very much to, I'm trying to think of all the people who were so sweet. Well, Heather, obviously. Heather, Becca, Hillary, Penny. I think there were other people. Thank you very much for your words of encouragement and just everything that you said. I very much appreciate hearing that from someone other than my husband. Because I know that he notices it too. Especially since he was looking through photos of us from when we first started dating when I was about 18, i.e. 5 years ago. I did not look like this 5 years ago. I look more like a teenager now than I did then. So yeah, if you do have criticisms, please email me. Because it really doesn't help someone on a review if they're trying to figure out whether they want to see the podcast that your main focus is with aesthetics and not the content of the podcast. Anyways, I'm going to stop now because I don't want to be the ranty person that I feel like being, because this week has, one, been really boring, and two, been gross and gray, and I don't like it. I think it's supposed to rain all this week, but I'm back in clinical and I have an exam to study for, and I have pretty colors to knit with. Pretty colors. How can this not make you happy? And then I should be getting a bunch of crap in the mail. So, yeah. Anyways, till next time, I am Kate Notable Needle, Noteable, on Ravelry, on Flirt, and on Twitter. And feel free to friend me, add me, whatever is applicable for that website. Because I do like getting to know you. Please introduce yourselves. It's been like a month since they have introduced themselves on the group. And I will see you next time, and hopefully your weather is better than ours. Bye.